Three, two, one. Start.
A very good morning to all present here. A very good morning to all present here. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all for the webinar on the topic Emerging Competencies for Management Students. I would like to welcome our key speaker, Mr. Nitin Sankher, CEO of Middle Earth HR, who is alumnus of IIM Kolkata and IIT Roorkee. I would also like to welcome our panelists for the day. Professor Dr. J.K. Sharma, Registrar, Baddi University, Professor Rajendra Guleria, Dean, School of Management Studies, Baddi University, and Professor Dr. Paras Prakash, HOD of School of Pharmacy and Emerging Sciences, Baddi University. Now, I would also like to welcome all our deans, HODs, faculties, and students of Baddi University and all the other attendees from Facebook and YouTube. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce you all to our key speaker, Mr. Nitin Sankher. He has a bachelor degree in computer sciences from IIT Roorkee and a postgraduate management degree in business administration from IIM Kolkata. Mr. Nitin Sankher, internationally reputed trainer, began his career with NIIT and EPTEC Limited as an international training center manager and regional profit head, respectively. Out of his passion of training, he later moved out of these companies to become one of the founder member of Middle Earth Consultant Private Limited and is now the managing director of the organization. Middle Earth Consultant started in 1996 with the mission of building HR, building human happiness. Middle Earth Consultants is today one of the Asia's largest specialist training, education, and knowledge support companies for HR professionals. Mr. Nitin Sankher has personally led over 100 consulting projects over companies in Philippines, India, Kuwait, Dubai, the areas of compensation, competency management, assessment centers, psychometric assessment, strategy and OD, behavioral analysis in the last 3 years. As a project guide, he has guided and mentored over 500 projects in HR over 10 countries in last 10 years. This will not be justified if I don't mention that he has recently won HR Champion Award for the year 2012 by India Human Capital for his excellent work in field of HR. He has been acknowledged as one of the top HR trainers in Asia. He has been awarded as Best Faculty for the year 2010 and 2011 by Carlton Advanced Management Institute, USA. Now, I request our key speaker, Mr. Nitin Sankher, to address the attendees of this webinar.
Hi guys, welcome, good morning. I hope you can all see me, and we'll get started. I'm just hoping that everyone can see me, guys. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're visible.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Any of you, Dr. Rajendra, I see you've got, you put a hands up icon. Is there any specific question you need to ask me, sir?
No, I just answered your question that you're visible or not.
Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Okay, sir. All right, guys, let's get started. I have about a 45-minute presentation, and if there are any questions after that, we can discuss in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Let me get started with the presentation.
One thing, Nitin, I would like to
please, sir,
just say,
yeah,
that there are students also part of this webinar.
Okay.
So the explanation of an point, you take care of the students are there. They are actually graduate students.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, the whole presentation is aimed at students only, because my understanding was that these are emerging competencies for HR students. So let's get started. So good morning, everyone. Today's presentation is on emerging competencies primarily, I'm looking at emerging competencies for management students, not so much for engineering or other students. So the question I will try to answer in this forum is, one, about these emerging competencies and what we are going to look at if you want to be successful as a career in management. So the agenda is as follows. I'm going to start the presentation by looking at some of the changes which are happening in industry in the last 3-4 years. But because of COVID and the current situation, these changes have only accelerated. It's not that these changes were not there. They were there, but we see a significant acceleration because of today's COVID for some of these changes. So we'll discuss some of these changes and what are some of the areas for where these changes are happening and what's the impact on business. That I would hopefully take 10 minutes for. In the next 15 minutes, I would like to discuss more about the emerging skill set for management students specifically. And then I would like to talk about how to build your career and what are some of the key things. I might take about 15 minutes for this area. So totally, I will take about 40 minutes or so. And the last 10 minutes, if anybody has any questions. I'm just shifting 5 minutes of my time to building your career and 10 minutes on Q&A. So let's get started. Change is coming. In fact, the change has come, I would say, more than coming. What are some of these changes? So let's look at the first change which is happening. The biggest change which we are seeing is the amount of data we are able to capture. Today, you'll be surprised that if we see some of the changes, just 1 minute. Okay. Some sound was coming in the background. I'm taking this from my home office. So the first big change which is happening is big data. What do I mean by big data? See, the amount of data which is coming into business today is tremendous. For example, if you go online today and you are able to see, just 1 minute, guys. यार थोड़ा जमीन बंद करो, साउंड और ये बंद करो. Yeah, sorry. So the biggest change we see is the amount of data which industry is able to gather. A huge amount of data is coming into companies. For example, if I'm able to track, you go online today, where you go, which shop you're going to, maybe what you purchased, what you're discussing on social media, everything is being captured. And this data is available to companies. Now, how much they're able to capture and how much they're able to use is a different matter, but the data is available. If you go to industries like, let's say you go and look at a salesperson's performance, you can look at every location he has gone to, how much time he has spent in each location. You can even nowadays, thanks to audio capture technology, even capture the calls he's making and analyze the calls. So the amount of data available, whether it is in terms of what your online status is, what your offline status is all available to companies. So this is the first change. The second change we are seeing is increasingly companies, the jobs are not in companies really, but the jobs are in what we call a gig economy. There was a recent study which said that 30% of jobs in UK have switched to a gig economy. What's a gig economy? I think many of you are familiar with this term, but just to talk about it, it is where a person does not work on a job per se, but they take a series of gigs. What is a gig? It is a single assignment to do a particular task or activity. For example, if you're a freelance trainer, you would be taking jobs with different companies. The size of the job may be different. the amount of time you spend on each job will be different, but this gig economy is becoming more and more prevalent or strong. The third change we are seeing is digitalization. Digitalization means that everything is on the computer, so your ability to use data, processes, systems on the computer are becoming more and more important. Even if you are in a very traditional manufacturing job, today with automation and robotics and other things in manufacturing, a lot of the work you're doing is not physically oriented, but is linked to a computer or digital data in some way. So this is one of the very, very big changes that we are seeing, is digitalization happening more and more. The fourth area that we are seeing is innovation. Innovation means every day the business processes are changing. Things are moving, and we have to continuously innovate. To take a simple example of Middle Earth itself, for example, let's say just 7-8 months back, before COVID was there, we were doing all our training, or at least 80% of our training, in classrooms. 20% of our training was done through digital media because we had an ELT division or e-learning based division. But a lot of the work was done in classrooms. Today, if you see it, innovation is happening. We have to use tools like Google Teams or Zoom training, which we have adopted. And we have to do most of our training there. The percentage of people who are watching this also has changed. The distribution of our customers has changed. Earlier, the customers were more in big cities, but now because of digital technology and using of Zoom sessions, we have a more distributed audience, and we can cater to people in countries like Nepal or Bangladesh or any of these other countries. So innovation is becoming core. And these four changes which are happening are driving industry tremendously. So I'll just stop for a minute. If any of you have any questions on the changes, we can discuss it, or we can go to the next section, which is on emerging skills. If any
There's a question
questions on the changes, guys, we can take it now. Yeah, please.
Nitinji, I would like you to explain a little bit from students' point of view, like we talked about this big data. How are, as a student, you talked about that people who are going out and buying or selling can be monitored. But does this also happen in cases of the students who are actually still studying? Does it impact them also? And what should they do to overcome this kind of challenges for getting a good job?
Yes. So, in fact, Dr. Rajendra, you brought me actually to my next point. What are some of the skills that students have to learn to be successful in this kind of industry? So, if I look at this, I feel, one, that the skill set that you require from a traditional business, whereas the skill set that you require to be a management person in a very large big data kind of situation, is completely different. So it has become imperative for students also to pick up certain kinds of skills, which I'll be coming to, which I call the emerging skills, which you need to be good at. And I think you need to prepare yourself to enter these kind of companies and these kind of situations. And in fact, if you don't, your chances of a good placement will come down significantly.
Good. Okay.
So let's go forward into this area, and let me just go back to my presentation to look at these areas for a minute. So just 1 minute, it's just opening. Right. So now let's look at some of these emerging competencies which students need to know, understand, and become good at. This is a quote by one of the greatest ice hockey players of all time, a person called Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky scored more goals in ice hockey than any other player. And when asked a simple question, how do you manage to score so many goals? He says, most people skate to where the puck is or where the ball is. In ice hockey, the ball is called a puck. I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. So that means if you are looking at becoming a management professional, you have to develop your skills to where the situation is likely to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Not focus on what the situation currently is. So the skills which I'm going to talk about are, I believe, the most critical skills for a great management graduate to get a good job, to move into a great position, to build your career successfully. What skills do you need to know? So now we have talked about big data and digitalization of media. Everything is moving towards e-based situations. Even if you're talking about a very traditional area like, let's say, agriculture, companies like ITC, for example, they are developing a market. For example, they are saying that customers who are there in any village can sell their product based on a e-marketplace, even for a farmer. So even if you're going to a very traditional industry, let's say you want to get a job in ITC, you need to know big data well. You need to understand the digitalization situation. And for that, you need to develop some skills. So let's look at some of the skills which I believe are critical. First is your ability to analyze data. See, analyze a large amount of data when it comes in. You need to understand how to statistically analyze the data, and then to use areas like predictive analytics, dashboard technologies to visually understand the data. So you need to take all this big data which is coming into your company and be able to analyze it. So your skill sets in areas like analytics have to be built. Second thing is, obviously, and this is, I think, sounds very simple, but your ability to use computers well is critical. When I go and see some students, and even I do interviews and I'm part of interview panels with some of the very big companies. And, when a person does not, like, for example, a simple question like, have you used a pivot chart in Excel? Could be asked in an interview. And if a student says, no, sir, I've never used a pivot chart in Excel, it is looked down upon. So, or even a simple skill, like, for example, if you look at, in fact, just let's look at this presentation. I've made a presentation on PowerPoint, and I'm using very simple skills of animation to build a simple presentation. And the quality of your presentation and your ability to visualize or present data well is a very simple skill. For example, if I just look at this chart or even the previous chart, for example, let us go back here and let's say a simple chart like this. Now, for example, I developed a chart like this. It's a simple chart. And for example, it took me about 4 or 5 minutes to develop this chart. But your ability to present your information nicely and beautifully is an important skill. So your ability to use PowerPoint, your ability to use Excel. I think Word is very, very simple. So I'm not really focusing on Word, but at least simple skills like, or for example, your ability to use even things like simple apps. Now, there are so many good apps. and your ability to use those apps becomes important. Now, if you are able to integrate information, now obviously I don't expect management students who are not engineers to understand integrative programming, but your ability to integrate your data with programs like, let's say, Python or Hadoop or something will become a very important skill for you to be able to manage information better. And finally, the application or applied technology is very important. So not only have you to use the computers, but certain software which is useful in your particular area. For example, if you're a marketing student, then you should know tools like, for instance, a simple keyword analyzation tool, or a tool which is used for marketing, which is in the area of digital marketing. Or, for example, your ability, if you're a HR person, to use a HRIS software. Now, that is the applied technology in your area of specialization. For example, if you're a management student or a HR student or an accounting student, you should know the simple tools of accounting, for example. I don't mean that you have to get into SAP or, some major ERP, but your ability to use a simple HR information system or your ability to use a simple tool would actually enhance your job prospects a lot, because people are looking for people who can apply technology. Now, the second area I talked about, or the other two areas I have talked about, are gig economy and innovation. Your ability to do a structured task from start to finish. For example, if I say you are going to be a freelance trainer, you should know right from designing a program to maybe making it on LMS or learning management software, which is what I talked about, a technology application. And then your ability to run the program will make you a good trainer. So nowadays, let's say a trainer earlier used to know a little bit of PowerPoint and it was enough. Today, the trainer should know PowerPoint. He should know probably a little bit of e-learning. He should know a little bit of integration of your package with, or maybe a simple authoring tool like Activate or Captivate, or one of these good authoring tools, or Camtasia. This becomes imperative for him. So if you want to be successful in today's gig economy and make a lot of money and innovate, you have to be continuously on the cutting edge. So you should know things like design thinking, how to design something new, because that is important in a gig economy or when you are coming out with a new product or service. You need to be very good at the practice. Theory and book knowledge is important, but the application or practice of that book knowledge, or be able to do it from start to finish. See, traditionally in management, earlier we used to have this, how do I put it? We used to have what we call division of labor, right? This was a classical concept which came in the early 1900s with the industrial economy. In industrial economy, how was work done? Work was split amongst people. Each person did a small piece of the work. The management would integrate or divide the work so that each person would be able to complete the work. And the management's job was to monitor this work and complete this work. So if you look at that, that was what we call the industrial economy. Now, if you go 100 years before, let's say 1700s, 1800s, early 1800s at least, this was there for a very long time. We used to have the craft economy. The craft economy used to be what? A single master craftsman, let's say a craftsman would design, let's say a piece of furniture. So a single piece of furniture would be designed by the craftsman, master craftsman. He would do the complicated parts of the job. He might have 1 or 2 apprentices or 2-3 apprentices who would do small things around making the chair or furniture. And then this chair would be sold for a very good amount. And if you were a really great master craftsman, let's say somebody like Hepplewhite's furniture today also sells for hundreds of thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of pounds. This furniture lasted 300 years and the furniture was magnificent. This guy used to be the master craftsman. Or if you look at somebody like, for example, of course, some of the master sculptors like Michelangelo, they made millions of dollars even in those days, or millions of dollars or equivalent, you can say, not dollars, maybe ducats or something else. But they made that amount in those days, and they used to have what they call a craft studio. A craft studio would have a master craftsman, and he'll have 5-6 assistants or people whom he would delegate parts of it. Now, what is happening in the gig economy is
हाँ जी सर। हेलो
लिंक हमने भेजा था उसके भी ज्वाइन
सर, मैंने मेल किया था लिंक।
नहीं मैंने तो लिंक हमने भेजा था बना करके ना
हाँ जी, उससे भी हो सकते हैं सर।
हाँ गौरव सर को मैसेज था, मैंने कहा उससे भी ज्वाइन हो जाएगा। अच्छा आगे से ना हमारा जब भी लिंक भेजोगे ना,
हाँ जी सर,
तो गौरव सर को भी डाल दिया करो।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है, वैसे मैंने कर दिया व्हाट्सएप पर।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है सर।
सही किया हुआ।
सर वो नेट कुछ इशू दे गया मेरे एंड पे।
अभी आप आए नहीं क्या कैंपस आज?
कैंपस नहीं आया सर, आज तो ऑफ नहीं है।
ऐसी गलती मत करो, आ जाओ तो।
सर आज ऑफ नहीं था।
कोई ऑफ नहीं है, आ जाओ कॉलेज डेट।
सर क्या बोलूं, मेरे को बताया ही नहीं है कि ऑफ नहीं है।
मैंने सबको बताया, जतिन ने सबको बताया, मुझे सब पता है, मुझे सब पता है।
नहीं सर, सही में नहीं, मेरे को नहीं पता था।
कोई नहीं,
चलो नेक्स्ट टाइम आ जाऊंगा सर, कोई नहीं। ओके सर। सर गुड मॉर्निंग। सर एक प्रॉब्लम होगी, लाइव चला हुआ था, बीच में डिस्कनेक्ट होगी कॉल, और अब इस पे ज्वाइन हो नहीं रहा है MS टीम पे।
ज्वाइन नहीं हो रहा है।
नहीं,
ज्वाइन ना होने का रीजन क्या है? कुछ ऊपर आया
कुछ नेट का एरर आ रहा था, मैंने 2-3 बार रिफ्रेश तो किया, देखता हूँ। मीट कर ही नहीं रहा है, नखरे कर रहा है सर। कैसे?
क्या आ रहा है?
नहीं, वो सीधा यही आ रहा है, अनेबल टू कनेक्ट।
सिस्टम रिस्टार्ट करो।
तो मेरे को एंड करनी पड़ेगी वो लाइव। वो एंड कर दूँ?
लाइव एंड कर दो।